Hello y'all, we're going to do a cervical spine series. So the typical Cspine series consists of about 5 projections. It's going to start with your lateral, move to an LPO, RPO, and then your AP followed by an open mouth. Now again, if you don't get the swimmers, you do that after that, and if you don't get the tip of the odontoid, you would do the fugues. So we're going to leave the swimmers out until we do T-spine, but I'll show you the rest of them here today, okay? So we're going to start with the lateral of the cervical spine. So Kyra is going to be my patient. So I need you to step to the board, put your left side up against it, please. Just like that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of ballpark it with what I got here. So let's get our light field right. The cassette is in there lengthwise. We're at 72 inches to start, okay? So what I'm gonna do is place the top of my light at the EAM. Can you see that? So the top of the light goes at the top of your attachment. I said EAM. What I mean is the top of your attachment, so the TEA, above the EAM. So that's kind of where I start. I don't line my bucky up. And I usually try to do this without doing too much with my patient except having them face sideways. So my tube bucky is now aligned. So then I'm going to come to the back of the patient and I'm going to look at my crosshairs here and where they're placed in terms of her coronal planes. Stand up nice and tall. That changes the alignment of the spine if you notice that. Take a step forward, really small, just like that. So what you'll see is the spinous process, the vertebral prominence here. You can kind of touch that and then imagine how far anterior from that the vertebral body is. What usually occurs is this line, depending on the curvature of their C-spine, is going to be just posterior to their ear. So stand up nice and tall, and so I do that, and then I'm going to collimate in anterior to posterior, just a tad. See that sliver right in front of her, and that's where I'm going to put my marker, okay? So if it's in anything, it's going to be in the cartilage of the trachea. All right, so then what I'll do is I'll say, all right, I'm where I need to be. Raise your chin slightly, a little bit more. All right, I want you to relax your arms by your side, stand up nice and straight, and blow your breath all the way out. As you do, relax your shoulders down, raise your chin, hold your breath out, beep, breathe and relax. That's my lateral cervical spine. Then I move straight into my AP axials. So go ahead and put your back up against the board. Turn your light off when you do this initially, because you don't want to blind them. All right, and actually I'll leave my marker right where I had it when I do that, because it's gonna be about ballpark there again. All right, so we want 15 to 20 degrees cephalic angle, centered at about C4, C5. That will change a bit, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So, all right, right about there, bright light. Get this up. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just do an LPO. So to do that, I just kind of grab my patient. I'm gonna rotate you this way. And you wanna be halfway between flat and 90, okay? So right about there. And then I center up. Again, I want a little bit of light right at the top of your attachment. I'm gonna raise the bucket behind you, lean forward slightly. Line up to the dot, not to the board. And I come back to the side, raise your chin a little bit. And now what I'm looking for is to imagine my crosshairs crossing through her vertebral body again. So touching her spinous process, I recognize that I'm probably too far anterior. So I'm gonna shift you over. So if obliqued appropriately, which is 45 degrees, then I should be centered such that my crosshair crosses like right about where sideburns would go on a person, right in front of the ear. And that should hit the vertebral body and project it over the center photocell. So again, stand up nice and tall. Raise your chin slightly. And I'm gonna move you back just a bit. There you go. Blow your breath all the way out. Hold it out. Beep. That's my AP axial cervical spine. You can breathe and relax. All right. Then I'm gonna say, okay, go ahead and put your back up against that board. Just like that. And now we're gonna come into 40 inches. Say we just did both of our obliques, the LPO and the RPO. And kick it out of deep hip, put it back. And then we're gonna come up here to 40 for these. Now, in practice, I often do these on the table, in the table bucky, but it's all the same to do them upright, so we'll just do them this way. All right, so I come into 40. And then again, I'm gonna be, can you see? I'm gonna be about C4, C5. So we're looking at that thyroid cartilage, lean forward slightly. All right, stand up nice and tall here, just like that. Sternal notch, or jugular notch, I'm sorry, is a good indicator of the mid-sagittal plane. And then I might even come back and take a look at what my light looks like here. This is the best way to see if you're lined up, is from here, so we're good there. My marker is just on the outside of the light. The spine, again, is really small. So just like that, raise your chin slightly. And that's what I would do. Blow your breath all the way out, hold it out. Beep. Obviously, Kyra's earrings would be out, in addition to her dosimeter and possibly her bra, because the little clips on the side can show up. So everything off from the waist up, including any jewelry, our false teeth, dentures, stuff like that, removable dental work. All right, that was our AP. Now we're gonna go in for our odontoid. So I take the angle off, the light's on the chest of the patient, and I collimate it in there so that I'm not collimating it out of their eyes, right? And then I'm gonna raise it up, and this is gonna be awkward, I don't know how you're gonna see, you might have to over my shoulder. I'm gonna put it where my line is right about middle of their mouth, okay? That's my starting point for that. Lean forward a little, and I'm gonna line up my bucky. I've got my collimated field good, so I'm gonna put my marker right there, okay? Then, I'm gonna tell the patient, I'm gonna touch the base of your skull, so I'm gonna find that bump at the back of the head, right about the hairline, maybe a little into the hairline, and then the mastoid tips, which are at the bottom of the ear, under the ear. So then I touch those, and I try to establish a line in my mind of what those might look like. Use my other hand to do the chin. Let me see your teeth, please, E. All right, so now I notice that her teeth are a little lower, so I'm gonna raise, and now my line's good. Then I inform them to open your mouth as wide as you can, just like that. Now her teeth went up slightly, so I'm gonna tuck your chin a little bit. That puts the line back in alignment, and I make sure she's good in terms of the mid-sagittal plane. Hold real still, beep, you can relax, just like that. Now, as a preface to the open mouth, I always warn them before it comes, as a practice with your AIDIT, when you're informing them, is that this is gonna be really awkward. I'm gonna shine a bright light right in your mouth. So I prep them for that a couple times in the conversation before I ever get to that point, so they're not like, oh my God, or they feel nervous or self-conscious about it. All right, and then finally, we didn't get the tip, right? We got the lateral masses and the spaces, but we didn't get the tip, so we're gonna do a fuchs. So to do that, what I do is raise your chin as far as you can, just like that. Now, in your textbook, your fuchs has a perpendicular central ray. Lean forward. I like to do it with this angle, so this is how I'm teaching you. Just like that. So I raise the chin as high as I can, and you want to be quick with this because this is incredibly uncomfortable, especially for older patients. So I do that, center them like that, chin up, then about where the mandibular angles are, I center in between those, midline to the patient, okay? Raise your chin again, just a little bit. All right, hold real still. Beep. You can relax. That's my series for that. And then again, if I had to do a swimmer's, I would. I don't typically use sandbags on the lateral, but that's it. So kind of run through this a couple times and then use it as a supplement with your lab. So thank you.